Erev Tov, Rabbi. Interesting says, it says in the Talmud something interesting and very important also. Where is this found? In Baal Bata, Baal Kama, both places, it's found there. It says, Dine Malchut Dine. 3 words, right? That's all it says. So, what is it talking about there? It's talking about that the din of the Malchut is binding on all the Jewish people as well. The din of the country that you live in. You know? So, what does that mean? If they have certain laws, to do business a certain way, or to conduct certain things, like, for instance, how you build, zoning and all kinds of things like this. Also how you drive, right? Not to speed, parking violations, all kinds of things like this. All these things, it's Dinei Malchut. And so the truth is, according to the Talmud, it says there that we're obligated to keep these things. So we have to understand how that works, because it has a lot of implications and all kinds of, important the things that come out of this, all kinds of products that come out of this, byproducts. So I'll explain to you a little bit what I mean. For instance, there was a certain rabbi, I remember here in America, he used to say, that it's not allowed to speed on the highway because you're breaking the law of the Malchut. You may think, well, if they don't catch me, I'm okay. I have a radar detector. I can see if they're watching me or not, whatever. But that's not the point. The point is, by breaking the law, you're also breaking the din of the Malchut, and you're breaking the Torah also. The din of the Malchut also applies to the Jews as well. And there's a good reason why they told you not to speed, right? Because, the truth is, the faster you go, the more dangerous the driving is. And there's much bigger chance of accident that can occur, when a person goes too fast. So that's why, a person should realize that when you're speeding, and you're moving violations like this, all kinds of things, don't do this, don't do that. You're also breaking the law of the Malchut. So therefore, it's not allowed to do that. Right? So a person has to realize these things, and they're made for a good reason, these laws, so a person should keep them. There's also laws which have to do with financial things, monetary, business kind of things, laws. You have to do like this, you have to do like that, right? There's partnerships, all kinds of neighbors, how you treat your neighbors, and all kinds of things. So how does these rules work? Are we obligated to keep these rules? So the truth is, that anything which doesn't contradict the Torah, we have to keep those laws. That's the way it is. That's what the Rashba says, As long as you're staying with the Torah, you should keep also the laws of the Malchut, of the country that you live in. But something which contradicts the Torah, so there you're not obligated to keep it anymore, right? That's the thing. So a person always has to, make sure he understands that. There's 2 different sides over here, One is with the Torah, one is against the Torah.
Rabbi, are you talking about public laws or Jewish laws?
So we're talking about the laws of the Malchut, right, of the country that you live in.
We didn't put it. It's like not Goy Malchut. You're talking about in Israel?
No, here. Anywhere you live. Doesn't matter where you live. It's all the same, right? There's a government everywhere, right? So those are the laws of the Malchut, of the country that you live in. You have to keep those laws. That's what we're saying, That's the idea. So, as long as it doesn't contradict the Torah. So, obviously, right, when we were living in Russia, communistim over there, they were telling us to do things that are against the Torah. So that's we're not talking about that, things like this, right? And by the way, this is not the first time in history that this happened, that there were malchuyot that, didn't allow us to keep the mitzvot, didn't allow us to study Torah. This was not the first time. This happened already before many, many times in history. If you look, right, the Greeks, and then there was the Romans, right, and all these malchuyot, they all told us, don't do this, don't do Brit Milah, don't do Shchita, don't keep Shabbat, right, don't keep Rosh Chodesh, don't do this, don't do that, like, all kinds of things like this. So the communism was the same thing, so things like this, you understand, if they tell us the Malchut, don't do mitzvot, don't keep the halakha, this we don't listen to them. This is the right important thing to understand. So whatever is against the halakha, we don't do it. There's a strong story that comes, about this in the Bible, in the Tanakh. Right? Where is this brought down? In the book of Daniel. So what happened was, right, that over there, Nebuchadnezzar, right? He told these tzaddikim, that were with him over there in his malchut, these Jewish people, right? We're talking about Mishael and Azariah, right? And Hananiah, right? These three. And Daniel was also there. So what happened was, that he made some gezerah, Nebuchadnezzar. He told them, you know what, I want you, he made a big statue of himself, a golden statue, Nebuchadnezzar, And so what happened was that he invited the whole world, because he ruled over the whole world. So he invited the whole world to come over there, the leaders of the whole world. They cannot invite the whole world. They cannot come to one place. But the leaders, they're the leaders of the countries. And he told them, this is the statue, this is me, right? So I want everybody to bow down to this statue, So what does that mean? He told them, I'm alien, I'm a god, he made himself Avodah Zarah. That's, exactly. It was idolatry, So he told them, you have to bow down, to my statue, and it was Avodah Zarah that he made himself. This is what it was. Not just to give him kavod, because if it's like that, right, just to give him kavod, it's allowed to bow down to the melech. You know what I mean? Bow down. No problem. You can do that. For kavod of the malchut, but not to make Avodah Zarah. That's something else, right? So Nebuchadnezzar said, "This is Avodah Zarah. I'm God." That's it, right? That's what he told them. So what happened, right? So these three, right? They didn't bow down to the idol of Nebuchadnezzar. They refused. So what happened? There were, some informers over there, squealers, and they informed on them. They went to Nebuchadnezzar, they saw them, and they went to Nebuchadnezzar, they said, these three, you see, they didn't bow down to your statue. So Nebuchadnezzar got mad. He was like, what's going on over here, So he summoned them, right, to come over, and he told them, he says, is that true? I heard you didn't bow down to my statue. What happened? So they told him, yes, it's true. You're right. You honor the king. We didn't bow down. We're not allowed to. We're not allowed to do Avodah Zarah. You know that, right? We're Jews, for God's sakes. We're Yehudim. So, but he says, don't you know? I said, I made a decree that if you don't bow down, you're liable to death. Chayav mitah. So, I have to kill you for this. He says, why didn't you listen to my laws? So. You know what they answered him, right? Oh, so now they gave him a lesson in halakha, just like we're doing now, right? Nebuchadnezzar, they gave him a lesson in halakha. They told him like this. They said, listen, when we have to do what the melech says, dine malchut dine, like we said, like right now, that only applies to what? To, you can collect taxes, and make laws like this, speeding tickets, things like this. You have to pay toll for the bridge, things like, that we have to keep. They said anything which is against the Torah, we don't keep those things. What do you think? We're gonna treat you like above Hashem? That's what you think. We cannot do that. They said so. Therefore, he says you are melech. Yes, you're melech only for things which are with the Torah. To collect taxes. Yeah, okay. The Torah allows you to do that. But things which are against the Torah, it says we don't treat you. We don't treat you like a king. You're just like nobody. You're nothing. That's what they told him. We don't listen to you. So Nebuchadnezzar said, "Oh, okay, that's how you want to be, right?" So what did he do? He went and he threw them into the fire, into the oven, to burn them. That's what he said. Okay, you want to be a tough guy? I can be tough also. Let's try, right? So what happened? He threw them into the fire, and Hashem made a miracle. Sent the malach, Gabriel, to save them, to take them out of there, to protect them and take them out, to remove them. So they saw, right? Nebuchadnezzar asked them, his servants over there. They said, what happened? Do you see them inside the oven there? You see them? Are they burning? Are they burning? They said they came back to the king and they said, Your Honor, the king. They said, we see them inside. Is there? But he says, they're not getting burned. He says there's a malach over there. Who's protecting them over there. That's what he told them, right? So he took them out. He saw that it wasn't working.
They actually saw the malach.
Right? He saw the malach. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, 4 people. Right? Exactly. You know the story. So they took him out. And then Nebuchadnezzar, he learned. He says, these guys are right. We cannot tell the Jewish people to do things which are against the Torah. Asur. That's not. We don't have any rights to do that. So the same thing in every malchut. If the din is against the Torah, we're not allowed to do that din, right? But if it's with the Torah, no contradiction, no stira, so then we have to do it. Yeah, we have to keep it. That's the thing. So there's a lot of things, that come into play because of these things that a person has to understand. For instance, let's say you have a machloket, right, with a goy, some kind of a din, let's say you got into some kind of a squabble with him, some kind of machloket.
Dispute.
Yeah, dispute, financial, right? It happens all the time, these kinds of things. So, what's the rule? The rule is, that it has to be judged according to the Torah, since you're a Jew, So, if they want to judge you, they try to judge you like a goy, like them, you don't have to listen to them. You can try to run away. I mean, don't give in to them. If you can run away, if you can escape from it, you should. But if it's something which is not against the Torah, so then you should, right, to do what you have to do. That's the way it is. So that's always the rule. Yes, we have din of malchut. That's one thing. But on the other hand, we have to keep, we have to keep the Torah. So the Rashba says like this, right? Rabbi Shlomo ben Aderet, one of the big chachamim of Sfarad, of Spain. He says that always, when there's a contradiction between the Torah and the din malchut, we have to do always the Torah. That's the way it is. When there's a machloket, when there's a stira there. So he says, if we wouldn't do that, he says he would erase the whole Torah. There would be nothing left. But everything we have to do like that. So then what's left from the Torah? Nothing. This is the thing. Yeah.
How come so many parties against the Malchut in Israel?
Okay. You're making me laugh. Right, it's a good question. The truth is, it's not really connected to what we're talking about, but it is connected. I have to, the truth is, it is connected. I'll explain to you why. There is also a question about this in the halakha, which is written in the poskim. Do we have to listen to the malchut, the government of Israel? Are we obligated to listen to them or not? So why is there a question? It's like any other malchut, no? Because they also, this malchut, in Israel, they tell us to do things which are against the Torah also sometimes. They're not religious, these people, most of them, They're shelebele, They don't have the biggest emunah in the world, these people, over there. In the Knesset, in the government there. They're, some people say they're Erev Rav, that's what they are, these people, They're Erev Rav. That's what it is,
They don't have a right leader.
They don't have what? Yeah. You know what it says in the Zohar HaKadosh, right? It says in the Zohar HaKadosh that in the Galut, who rules over Israel? Who rules? The Erev Rav. So we're still in the Galut, so the Erev Rav is Sholet. They're ruling. That's what it is, So this is what you have today. Erev Rav, What can you do? Not everybody over there is Erev Rav. There are also some good people there, It's a mixture, some this, like the Shatnez, a little here, a little there, right? Not exactly him. But the thing is, that the Malchut over there sometimes is telling us to do things which are against the Torah. So same thing, if that's the case, we cannot listen to them. What can we do, right? We have to evade them, as much as possible. If they're telling us to do things which are against, and they do it all the time. They try this, they try that, right? Always they're trying something new. Every time, some new trick, something, always. What can we do? We do the best we can. We try to, Baruch Hashem, we're not doing so bad, but still, we have to, so this is the reason, that we have a problem with the Malchut over there. The reason is because they're like Goyim, this is the problem. They have laws that are like the laws of Goyim. This is the problem that we have with them.
But look in Iran. There is a religious guy in church.
Yeah.
And see what's going on. They all go back 2,000 years back.
Right. Yeah. So you know what it is, right? That they may be called religious, these people, but they're really kofrim. They're kofrim. These people, their religion is kofir. So what does it help you that he's religious? He has a beard, and he has a jacket, he looks like a rabbi, looks like Admor. It doesn't matter, he looks like Admor. Yeah. He's not Admor, he's Satan, that's what he is. He's a Satan who's dressed like Admor. You understand? That's what it is. So it doesn't help you. That's what I'm trying to say, right? So this is the problem we have over there, with the Malchut in Eretz Israel. We have a struggle with them, We're trying to always, to do something to save ourselves from them. There's also another question that they're asking also about that Malchut. There are some people who are very extreme on the other side. You've seen them, right? These people, they're very extreme. They hate the Malchut over there, like, the biggest hatred. They don't want to have nothing to do with them. Like they have no connection with them. They don't want to do anything according to what they say. They want to accept their authority in any way. What do we call these people? Neture karta. These people, all kinds of, the crazy people like this. Satmar. There are some crazy people also in Satmar. They're a little bit crazy. A little bit crazy. They're good people, by the way. Satmar. I'm not telling you, they're bad people. They're good people. Yeah, they're a little bit extreme. Some of them, especially some of them. A little bit extreme. But they're good people. They're good Jews. God, Baruch Hashem. I'm not trying to say anything bad about them. They're good people, Satmar. They're good people, but they have, they hold, that they want to stay away from the Malchut, over there, and there's a good reason for that. They have what to rely on. They have what to rely on. So therefore, the truth is, but they go a little bit extreme. They say, you shouldn't pay taxes over there, nothing, and you shouldn't have anything to do with them, and don't cooperate with them, don't do anything with them together, and don't, no connection, like totally like disconnected from them. That's a little bit too extreme, perhaps. It's not hard to live like this, when you're living in a country, to have no connection with the government whatsoever. So it's a little bit hard, But anyway, right, the point is like this. What's the reason why we say Dine Malchut Dine? Right? There is a Din of Malchut, and sometimes we have to keep it, as we said, When it makes sense, it's not against the Torah, it's something good for people, something like that, you should keep it, yeah, of course, But when they're doing something which doesn't make sense, it's against the Torah, it's against Hashem, then we don't keep it. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen, amen. Rabbi Hananiah ben Shomer, רצה הקדוש ברוך הוא לזכות ישראל, לפיך הכי בא להם תורה ומצוות שנאמר אדוני חפש למען צדקו יגדיל תורה וידיר.